All right, we're going to go back to Robo Sports Network to break down our finals matches.
All right, thank you very much. This is it. We've made it to the finals. We're trying out this new type of bracket. We're piloting the double elimination brackets, but in the finals, we do best 2 out of 3, just like a traditional FRC competition. So in this matchup, number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed, we're going to talk about both of these alliances while they get ready on the field. Adrian, introduce us to this number 1 alliance.
Well, the number 1 alliance has been absolutely dominating the field in this playoff bracket. 1678, number 1 undefeated team. You've heard me say it all day, but that deserves to be recognized because here at Chezy Champs, it is the best of the best. So to come out on top and be undefeated, they deserve all the praise that they are giving. Their first pick, 44-14, has been absolutely incredible, and even though they haven't been scoring as much as they were able to in the qualifications in this playoff format, they have been drawing so much defense away from the Citrus Circuits that it has made it so that they can outscore basically anybody that they've faced so far. We've seen them switch up their strategy between 498 and 28-13. We saw 498 basically shut down these huge powerhouse offensive robots in 1690 in the last match, but we've also seen 29-13 be an integral part of that alliance's play in different matches. So we'll see how they decide to adjust their strategy now that they're facing an alliance that is really played the exact same strategy every single match.
All right, we're going to come back and talk about how they might apply that defense to this other alliance. But first, Steve, I want you to introduce us to this number 2 alliance and really what their journey's been like in this tournament.
Well, Jack and the Bot earned all of the available bonus ranking points during the tournament, just losing 2 matches to put them into the 2nd seed. But what a consistent autonomous they have had. Initially, they had 254, the Chezy Poofs, their first pick, running the 6 cargo auto, but after that had a bit of a failure in one of their matches. Went back to 2910, and it's been impervious since. I believe they've made every single one of their autonomous cargo that they've attempted since then. So far, they have only put out 3175, their 3rd pick, the Night Vision from Michigan. 254 and 3175 paired up at the championships this year. 3175, their defensive swerve bot, able to get onto the mid or possibly the high rung at the end of the match, but mostly trying to slow down the number 1 score on the alliance. We have not yet seen MSET Fish this tournament. They had sort of a hybrid role. We saw them scoring, we saw them defending, but there's a lot of trust put into 3175, lots of experience defending. Now they have a really difficult choice here as to whom they're going to send their defender after. So far in this tournament, we've seen alliances try to slow down High Tide, 44-14, the number 1 overall pick. We have not seen anybody trying to defend the alliance captain 1678 Citrus Circuits yet. Both of them swerve robots, 44-14 with the turret, so theoretically harder to defend them, but that's the one we've seen so far. So the number 2 alliance here, making it out of that lower bracket, and we know that they're sending a defender, so it'll just be a determination of which robot they'll be defending.
So both of these alliances have very even matched autonomous modes. They both employ a very similar teleoperation strategy of 2 robots on offense, 1 robot on defense, and in-game, fairly well matched and evenly matched based on the teams and the play we've seen so far in this tournament. Adrian, if you're the Red Alliance right now, which of your 3rd robots are you going to play, and who are they going to play defense on?
Well, just because we saw 498 basically shut down 1690 in a match, I think that I would put them out on the field, and we've seen a defense against 44-14 be very effective. So I think I would play that same strategy, but the Citrus Circuits, they have been in competitive environments like this for years and years and years. They may see something differently. They may want to mix it up. They might not want the Blue Alliance to know what's coming at them, so they might want to play a different strategy that they've never seen before.
I can see right now that 498 is lining up on the field, so that's who we can expect to play. I agree. After that lights out defensive performance on Orbit, you really think they've shown what they can do, what they can play. Really interesting fact about this new setup is both of these alliances had to go through beating the number one seed to get here to this tournament. That number 3 seed was $6,800, 1690 orbit, 973. Both of them played similar strategies. Put a defensive robot on orbit, outscore them, and try to win it. And number 3 seed was able to beat the Blue Alliance once. We chalked that up to a jammed in take on 254, but then the second time, both alliances were able to beat that. So we've seen that comparative stat of that they both played a similar team. They both barely squeaked by. I can't say from what I've seen there, that one really comes out ahead of the other.
Yeah, I agree. And just, being in a playoffs alliance is really all about getting into a groove. With the Red Alliance kind of switching up strategy depending on what alliance they're facing, that could be an advantage for them because, like I said, you keep the other alliance guessing, you have a bunch of different options that you can decide on, but there is something to be said about the Blue Alliance just slow and steady playing the exact same strategy every single match. All 3 robots know exactly what they're going to do. They've done it over and over and over again. They've had to play more matches than this number 1 seed.
That's right. They played all 5 rounds, whereas the number 1 seed has only played in 3 of those rounds.
But they have one thing that they might not be used to. Every time that they've sent their defender in their previous matches, the other alliance has had their 3rd robot try to pick up the scoring. We have not yet seen their opponent, the number 2 alliance's opponents, send a defender against either 254 or 2910. So that might change how the match plays out for them. If 498 stays on defense and we have 2 pairs of robots moving around the field, 3175 defending either High Tide or Citrus Circuits, and 498 defending either 2910 or 254.
Right, that disruption can add so much to the game whenever you get knocked off of your going in strategy because a defender comes in, they're disrupting, you need to adapt. If you haven't been thinking about that, you haven't made those changes, you may be in a bad place where that Red Alliance has had the defense come at them. They've had to adjust. They've had to respond to that. That puts you in the right mindset of what to expect coming into your final match.
Capability-wise, very similar makeups of these alliances. The alliance captain, Swerve Robot, and no turret, with the ability to do a traversal climb. Their first pick, Swerve Robot with a turret, and the ability to do a traversal climb. So far we have seen the defenders go against those turreted robots and not the ones without. So 2910 and 1678 haven't seen much defense so far in this playoff tournament.
We've talked before about how important it is when you are getting defense played on you that you're able to retreat back to that safe zone so that you can get shots off without being pushed around. And a lot of times that just comes down if you're able to do that to where your cargo is on the field. I expect that the location of cargo coming out of the hub may play a big difference in this match.
All right, well, I think we've said enough about these teams. They look like they're about ready on the field. We're going to send it down there. You're going to meet these teams, and then we're going to see some finals actions getting started at Chezy Champs 2022.
All right, we're still getting these robots on the field, so we'll be right back to introduce the finals. everyone. Welcome to the finals, Chezy Champs 2022. We've got some teams here who are ready to go. Chezy Champs, as I said before, we want to bring the best teams in the world together, and we have an absolutely insane lineup of teams here. Out of the 6 teams playing in our finals, 5 won their division at the Houston Championship and made it onto Einstein. 2 played each other in the Einstein finals. 254 and 3175 won that. 44-14 wants to win this one. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna meet our teams. We're gonna bring the Red Alliance out first, and then we'll bring the Blue Alliance out. And in the spirit of gracious professionalism, they're gonna give each other a nice friendly wave, and then we're gonna get to it. So let's introduce the Red Alliance, starting with the Alliance captain, Team 1678.
From Davis, California, that's Citrus Circuits.
Their first pick, Team 4414.
From Ventura, California, that's High Tide.
And rounding out the Red Alliance, Team 498.
From Glendale, Arizona, that's the Cobra Commanders.
But actually rounding out the Red Alliance, we have Team 2813.
From Saratoga, California, that's the Gearheads.
All right, that's your #1 seeded alliance here at Chezy Champs, the Red Alliance. Remember, these matches will be the best 2 out of 3. So whoever wins this one just has to win 1 more. But Andrew, let's meet our blue teams.
All right, our blue teams are #2 alliance. They've made it this far and they're looking to take home the entire competition. We want the blue banners, we want the gold, we want the win. So let's introduce them. We have Team 254.
From San Jose, California, that's the Chezy Poops.
Their partners, 3175.
From Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, that's Night Vision.
We have 2910.
From Bothell, Washington, that's Jack in the Butt.
And who can forget 649?
From Saratoga, California, M. Set Fish.
All right, give it up for your finalists, the Red and the Blue Alliance. At this point, Red Alliance, Blue Alliance, give each other a friendly wave. And we can head back to our driver's station. Thanks a lot. All right, we've got a thumbs up. We're ready to go for the first finals match here at Chezy Champs. So drivers, get behind those lines and let's get ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go!
Here we are in finals match #1 of Chezy Champs. A barrage of cargo in that upper hull. 44-14 and 29-10 for their respective alliances, finding that last piece of cargo to get up. High Tide for 2, Jack in the Butt for 2 more. It is 38-46, advantage blue. Let's see what these teams can do in teleoff. 1678 from the launch pad up for 2. 44-14 up for 2 more, but Night Vision knows what to do. They're gonna glue themselves to that Ventura Rolla and make sure they can't score a single point. 29-10, the Alliance captain from Bothell, Washington, finding their next piece of cargo to line up. 1678 for 2. 254 playing defense. 254 trying to track down 1678, run them around the field. 4414's got one, but 3175's on them. 498, that is the Cobra Commanders chasing 2910 around this field. Nobody can catch a break here. This is not a 3-on-3 offense match. This is plenty of matches of defense. 74-70, Red up by 4. We have a pin on 1678, but they're free, up for 2. They're finding some more cargo. 498 holding 2910 in position. 1678 up against the Hob in for 2. It is 80-70. Red is growing their lead. We've got 1 minute left here. 4414 up for 2. 3175 trying to shut them down. 254 looking for their next cargo. Trying to play some positional defense on 1678. Holding them into that corner, chasing them down. 1678 swerving out of the way, finding their launch pad. 1 and 2, and they're both good. 4414 up for 2 as well. 3175 trying to get in their way. Red is growing their lead even further. But now, that sound, we've got 30 seconds left in this match. Let's see what these teams do in endgame. Looks like we have a red robot 4498 stopped on that side of the field. That could not be good. 1678 getting in position. 2910, 254 getting in position. 2910 is up. Citrus is up. 2910 back down. Citrus, in a blink of an eye, on the traversal run for the Red Alliance. A big hit from 3175. 2910 comes back down. We'll have your official scores in just a moment. We have your scores. It is the Red Alliance taking finals match number 1, 146-82. Robo Sports Network, what happened there?
All right, thanks, Tom. Red Alliance, big win. We're playing best 2 out of 3, though, so we're going to get to play one more match. Adrian, what happened?
I wish I knew, actually. No, I mean, a great autonomous mode from both alliances again, but right after autonomous we saw 254 kind of struggling. They weren't moving, they kind of got pushed around, and as soon as they came back to life, they immediately went to play defense. And so that left Jack and the Bot the only scoring robot on the Blue Alliance, and they were holding their own against that Red Alliance for about half the match, but Red really started to run away with it, even though both High Tide and 16 1678 were getting heavily defended by 3175 and 254, our 2 world champions from the Blue Alliance. When you have 2 robots under defense, it usually still can outscore just 1 robot on offense that's also facing defense from the Blue Alliance. So, I mean, Red just ran away with it. Clearly some issues on the blue side of the field, and I hope we get to watch a match in the next round where all robots are at fighting form.
Yeah, so let's bring up the replay here and see if we can understand why or what happened there whenever we stopped seeing the offensive firepower happening on this Blue Alliance. So, as you said, during autonomous mode, we have the Chezy Poofs. They pick up a ball, they shoot 1, 2, 3, all of them sink, and the robot doesn't move after that. We're patiently waiting, trying to find out, is something going to happen? And as we exit autonomous mode, we can see there's some hesitation from this robot.
And we did actually just get some inside information that the gamepad for 254 was broken, so they couldn't control the robot besides the drivetrain.
So we see a very different match here than we've seen for both of these alliances throughout this playoff tournament. Usually it's been 1 set of paired robots, 1 defender and 1 offender, and then 4 robots on their own trying to outscore each other. But here it's all paired up. Every red robot is on a blue robot or vice versa.
And I love this decision making. So 498, they were a robot that was assigned to play defense on 254. Quickly they recognize that 254 is not shooting. They then go, oh, I'll go play defense over here. Oh wait, that's a defender over there. Let me go find who I'm supposed to go play defense on. That reassignment in the moment is critical. So 2910 has a small amount of time, Jack in the Bot, where they have no defense on them, but within 20 seconds of teleoperated, they have a defender on them. And at this point, we've got a blue robot on defense against a red one, a red robot on defense against a blue one, and a red robot on defense, or blue robot on defense against a red one. Very crazy, 3 pairs, and these 3 pairs stick together the rest of the match.
If you had asked me how this match was going to go beforehand, I would have never even thought that any of this would be a possibility. But this is why we play the matches, and never a dull moment here at Chezy Champs.
So Jack in the Bot, 2910, really they're trying to score against an alliance that has 2 scorers, so that's a really tall task. But they do some smart stuff here. They are going back to their launch pad, their protected zone to shoot from. They know that they're faster than 498. They've been driving swerve since forever, but they do have the disadvantage in that when 4414 High Tide has been defended, they've just been able to get up against a wall on the field and shoot over their defender. 2910 has no such capability. They are as short as you could possibly make a robot with those capabilities.
And what really is unfortunate for them is there's no blue balls on this side of the field. It's really just been vacant of them. They're all stashed on the red side. So 2910, their protected zone is all the way over here. So they have to make a very long run. And if we rewind, they made that run, but when they did, they became exposed to getting a pin over here, and they got trapped on this side of the field for quite a bit.
And if you notice right now, right before you fast forwarded again, the match was with a minute left, only blue had 70 and red only had 74. It was still very close at that point. But once Jack in the Bot had to cross the field to get all that cargo, not once, but as many times as it took to be just 2 by 2 bringing balls back, that's when it really all went Red Alliance's way.
But all throughout this match, we see something that all smart teams know. You should take all 5 seconds of a pin if you have it available to you. Don't immediately leave somebody as soon as the referee starts calling pinning. You've got a couple of seconds. Stopping a robot from moving on the field is the best possible thing you can do on defense, and you have a little bit of a buffer there.
And we also see that 498 actually is sitting dead on the field for almost the last 30 seconds of the match. That really could have been the difference for the Red Alliance if Blue hadn't already had a bigger disaster happen for them. So really both alliances having some difficulties in this final one.
Now we saw 2910 had issues earlier in this tournament with their hang. They went to the traverse and they fell, and then in this case they're clearly having issues being able to lift off the ground and get their robot to stay there. They eventually drift back down. Unsure if that's damage caused by earlier in the tournament, but we do talk about how the #1 seed has only had to play 3 matches before this. This was their 4th match, where the Blue Alliance, because they went into that losers bracket, they have played This is their 6th match, so 2 more matches for them. Damage happens in these matches. Really, a lot of First Robotics turns into an endurance tournament.
Yeah.
Probably the right call there from 2910. As their climb starts to go awry, they just e-stop their robot. That is sort of their MO under those circumstances. But here, definitely the right call. You can't win the match, even if you get a traversal. So the attempt could make it even worse for your next match.
So looking forward, looking at our bracket to take in review, you can see how the upstairs version of this bracket has less matches. The winners don't play in round 3 and they don't play in round 5. And in this case, that was the #1 seed. They've won out so far. They've won the first match of the finals, and we play best 2 out of 3 in this tournament. So in our next match, if the #1 seed wins, they're our Chezy Champs champions. If the Blue Alliance wins, they come back and make an upset, we're going to 3 matches. All right, we're going to come back and talk more about these matches. We're going to talk about strategy and what can go differently in this second round. But before that, let's dance.